This is about the topic Beyond Impressions, how misalignments impact engagement and ROI in video ads. I'll repeat the topic for the panel discussion once again, Beyond Impressions, how misalignments impact engagement and ROI in video ads. And I'm sure after all the panels, a lot of you might feel like asking questions, but in the best interest of time, we have to kind of fly through the event. So please feel free to ask your questions offline in the networking zone. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll first introduce our honorable moderator, and then I'll be introducing our speakers, and then we'll be having all of them on stage together. Ladies and gentlemen, this special conversation is going to be moderated on stage by Amit Rathi, Managing Director, India, Channel Factory. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Amit as he joins us over here on stage? I'd like to call upon stage our speakers, Abhishek Chadha, EVP, North and East Interactive Avenues. A huge round of applause for Abhishek as well, please, if I may request. We have Divyesh Gurlani, Senior VP and Business Head, Apex Publicist Media. A huge round of applause for him as well, please. Thank you. We have Karan Singh, Enterprise Marketing Manager, HP. Can I have a huge round of applause for Mr. Karan as well? I'd like to also call upon stage Nitin Guleria, Head of Media, Mobile, Samsung. A huge round of applause for Nitin ji as well. And I'll also request Shubham Verma, Media and Measurement Lead, Hygiene, Reckitt, as our speaker for this session. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have the loudest intensity, my highest amount of appreciation for the second panel of the day? मैं highest बोल रहा हूँ लेकिन आप लोग highest कर नहीं रहे हो. थोड़ा please मेरे शब्दों के साथ आप energy match करके please जितने भी लोग हैं, let's not make them feel less and let's have more people inside so that we can get going with the panel. Thank you. Our moderator is ready and over to you.
Thank you everyone. Before we enter into this topic, I just wanted to give you some perspective of mine on the topic which is talk about misalignment of content. I know everybody must be knowing what is the misalignment in the industry is going through right now, especially in the case of social platform, not on the open web point of view, but if you think of what is the misalignment happening. If you're watching a Hanuman Chalisa and suddenly some liquor brand ads comes in, that's called misalignment. You're watching the Hanuman Chalisa and some delicious ads comes in with the non-veg. I know everybody is non-vegetarian, vegetarian. That's how it is the industry is going through. One more example of one of the ad of Cocomelon, which is kids content, because they label as music and entertainment in the social platform, some luxury car comes into the picture. So first of all, we have an esteemed panelist here. They are experts in their category point of view. I have a certain questions which definitely ask on those topics, which will be interesting to see how they are working on these misalignment content happening across the industry, which we are going through, and what are the various areas they are covering on that. So my first question to across the panelists on that, video advertising is becoming increasingly crucial for brands across industries. However, many face challenges related to misalignment between creative, content targeting, and audience expectations. How do you see misalignment impacting engagement and ROI in your respective domains, and what steps are being taken to address these challenges? Who want to go first on this? Abhishek, your view on misalignment of the content.
Sorry? I'll say the same thing. Very profound perspective and great examples, by the way. There is an evident challenge that's there, and what we've seen over the last 2-3 years is a great deluge of content being available in the ecosystem. That's a good thing, but what has equally happened is that a lot of money being spent is resulting into not great efficacies. So, and this problem is now circling, it's tightening its news across, it's impacting brands, it's impacting agencies. I think the larger problem is in terms of defining what brand suitability is, what brand, what brand safety is, what is brand safe might not be brand suitable, and what is brand suitable might not be brand safe, right? How, if you just peel the onion layers and dig deeper into how supply is classified, it all runs, through a series of ones and zeros, and then underneath is actual nomenclatures which define what this content stands for. Technically, these nomenclatures are fed through servers, and then that's how actual advertising effects. But what happens is there's a lot of gray inside, and while your vanity metrics in terms of video completions, your metrics on VTRs, effective CPCs, all of those will be met, but ultimately it is not landing that specific impact into that TG. That's where I think come the entry of specific measurement partners which go beyond, which measure beyond specific metrics. So there is in content analysis, what user behaves on the page, your heat map analysis. So whatever substantial incremental data that you can measure just to validate back whether it is brand suitable, it needs to be complemented in, because go back to the first problem statement, we are a supply surplus ecosystem, and more and more supply gets pushed, and hence measurement has to happen effectively and going beyond these specific metrics.
Yeah, so I completely agree what Abhishek just said, right? So, see, there are a lot of things, right? First is definitely is total budget loss for client, right? Because there is no ROI, right? Because if there's a misalignment of targeting or misalignment content, right, there will be no ROI. So one is yes, is a 100% budget loss, right, for the client perspective. And second, definitely we should have like kind of creative optimization and like how the personalized creative we are creating for that content, right? And the tagging is the larger issue, not with the not only for the smaller players, but with the larger media owners also, right? How they tagging their content while they're putting on the web, right? That's one of the larger issue, which something definitely we can look at like through a lot of data partners or the AI partners, if we can solve that and then save those misalignment stuff. Apart from that, I think the generic stuff, which I think already we all are doing in day-to-day life as a agency ecosystem or as a client ecosystem, that is already there, and as the partners also, right? But yeah, still there's something missing which we need to make sure, like, how we reduce this misalignment and how we'll save our budget loss for the client.
Karan, you from the technology player in terms of the HP point of view, how you look at it, this happening in the industry right now, how you measure ROI on that?
Yeah, Amit, so I handle B2B marketing in HP, and it's a very niche segment, which is my audience. Beyond one single platform, which we are all very aware of, LinkedIn, it's very difficult for me to really scale my campaigns and to understand or identify audiences which are maybe a CIO, maybe an IT head, IT manager, where they are and what are they doing. Because the platforms like Google, etc., they have identified these audiences in segments which are more suitable for consumer advertising, but it's very difficult to identify them as someone who is a decision maker for IT in the company. So while these audience specific signals are there, next thing which can help us figure out this niche audience is content. So the mindset per platform is different, how a consumer is using that platform. So for LinkedIn or for a short length video platform like TikTok or YouTube, the consumer mindset is different, and how I can find that what this consumer is on a certain content is very important for me to identify and then serve something which is understandable to them, because most of the platforms are helping us find out people who are interested in hardware or a laptop, etc. But I would say all of them are consumers who are looking at certain reviews and certain other things, while my audience is very, very informed, educated, and they are not making a decision to buy a personal laptop. They are trying to make a decision for the whole company. They are interested in buying 5,000 fleet of laptops. They are interested in buying other services. So it's very important that I reach with the right message at the right platform to the right audience. Because if there is misalignment of all of these three factors, one, I lose my brand trust because I'm not reaching out to them in the right manner, with the right message. Two, I'm not able to make them understand that what I'm actually talking about. Because my products which I am selling are complex, and they are complex solutions. We are not talking about just specifications. We are telling them how we solve the problem which their employees are facing in their companies, and how we are increasing their productivity, and we are talking about security. So all those things are complex solutions, and to reach the right audience within a right mindset that they can consume maybe a 30-40 second long video which is explaining all of these solutions is very important. So once this misalignment happens, I lose the interest of this person who will not watch my video because they don't get what I'm saying, which is waste of money for me. Two, they also lose the brand interest because they are sitting in a certain mindset, maybe to relax at night, and I'm here selling them something complex. So I have to take care of that, and hence I think the context of where my ad is getting served with what messaging becomes really, really important for me.
But then, what's your view on that? You play on a premium and the masses point of view, and multiple categories involved, be it mobile, your CPGs, other in terms of washing machine, TV, refrigerator. How you cover all these things when you're wearing a hat of marketing point of view of these things?
No, I think it's super critical, first of all, to understand that whatever we do in marketing is with an intent that we want to basically engage the customer, and it completely depends on what time, day, and what context that message is delivered to someone, right? And what the rise of social media and all the self-serving platforms like Google, where you can upload any kind of content, has done is that earlier, like the traditional advertising, you knew that, okay, this is a chitrahar, this is a a music program, or this is. Now there is a new genre every day, and social media wants to inculcate that habit that, okay, there is a new trend that is going on now. There is new trend every day. There is 5 new trends, right? It's very hard to basically differentiate that whether that trend suits my brand or whatever the context and the content that I want to relate with it. So I don't see currently any technology or anybody trying to filter that and trying to basically analyze that. And what it does is mostly that, as you said, we are a premium, we are a mass brand as well, but now that differentiation is not there in terms of the targeting by the platform provider. So it becomes really challenging when you're trying to basically sell a 1.5 lakh rupee phone and versus a 10,000 rupee phone, right? Yeah. Because Google is telling me that, okay, this is an in-market audience, but it's not telling me that what is the in-market watching and what kind of a content. If it tells me that, okay, this in-market guy is probably watching a TikTok video versus this guy is watching a Fred Lexman podcast, I can still differentiate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's super critical because that sets the tone for your brand. That's also imperative in terms of like your engagement rate, whether the VTR and other stuff, will also be much higher. Whenever we have done certain experiments, when we have actually gone much granular, it has yielded much better results for us, for sure. Yeah. So I think it's super critical.
Okay. Shubham, what is your thought when you think on the mass and definitely on a FMCG perspective, how the Harpic play a role on the hygiene point of view on the same line?
See, I'm sitting on the most left, so I've heard most of the people speaking. and that's the answer. But I'll be the devil of all the people. I think misalignments usually helps. The settlement comes from Harpic. I think everyone in the room would have seen Harpic ad when they're having lunch or dinner. So misalignment helps you build trauma. I have that point of view. While it's a little critical on other brands which are more niche,
Yeah.
mass brands have a little more no option strategy because we need to go to everyone. We need to reach out to people, and finding niches would definitely increase my KPIs. But with the right content, with the right settlement, going a little beyond and testing the limits is important.
Yeah.
The second example from the brand set that we hold is DIGIXX, the Hanuman Chalisa example that you gave.
Yeah.
I would hate it to be present there, but therefore we require people like you or like anyone else to critically evaluate where we should be, but with a pinch of salt that mass brands do need to explore a little more of the testament that you propose. We think there is a solution to build. We think CPGs slightly lack, to have the lack of better word, in the settlement of it. But ultimately, having creative solution with the right audiences, with the right platform, with the right placement, with the right creator, is the way to go. From the last decade, we've seen TVCs grow into DVCs, grow into creators, and all of them, irrespective of the placement that we have, need to be at the right space of the person, because spray painting won't help. It will be better if you go to a specific audience, to a specific time frame. But it's not all bad. I think misplacement also helps at times, and there is a space for misplaced people.
I just touch on that, like whenever we eating a lunch or during the breakfast or the dinner time, we always see the Harpic ads comes in.
Unofficially.
Unofficial.
We go back.
That's a good one. So moving on, the next question I will definitely ask the agency guys, because they play a multiple heads because of the reason is they manage the multiple brands on these areas. So specific questions I will definitely ask for the agency people who are here, to Abhishek and Devesh on that. How do you approach the challenges of assuring that your client video ads align with their audience expectations while maintaining the creative integrity of the campaign? How do you use data and insight to fine-tune the targeting and the content? Anyone, like Devesh, you want to go first?
Yeah. So, yeah, Amit, so this is actually, I must say, day-to-day problem for agency people, because, you know, what happened is we get the generic creative, right? And
Yeah.
this creative has to perform,
Yeah.
right? One perform as it is, right? Because definitely that's a generic creative, and this, you know, this is all right for mass audiences, but not for the like
Niche point of view.
niche audiences, right? So what we do is we, rather than saying no to generic creative, right, we'll use the data audiences, okay, psychographic of the audiences, and we'll tweak the video or tweak the creative to give that, you know, the touch to their creative, right, which definitely help us to align with the client as what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And additionally to that, because of this additional changes which we have done, okay, they'll perform the way we want it, or the way the client is expecting the answers, right? Second part is, obviously the creative which was created, right, those has to be aligned with the audiences, okay, rather than the content, right? Like, who is your target audience? Who is, what is like to see?
Yeah.
Okay. So for example, if there's a gaming client, right, so we use a Twitch audience insight, okay, to make it like more relevant, more edgy,
Yeah.
right, for that particular client, right?
Yeah.
So definitely those insights are required, and as I said in start, like, no, this is the day-to-day operation for a day-to-day life challenges for us which we need to face while you work with the client or you work closely with the client.
Abhishek, your point of view?
Yeah, so before I say something, so I was just thinking on what Shubham said, that sometimes these things will help build some bit of a recall, but I'll give similar examples and just sharing as anecdotes. What happens when we do something on a live environment, right? And let me just flip mediums and say, what about what happens on news, right? We've got, you know, anchors and we all know on the way that they speak out. How do you control that? Right, that is one. How do you, you've got instances wherein, live commentary is running and you've got the commentators screaming stupid, 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 right? So those give immediate perspectives on how sometimes, suitability, favorability, safety, you really can't measure. Which gives to which gives birth to a question that what exactly do we want to measure, right? Before we set out measuring suitability, favorability, and what makes sense for the brand, I think coming back to the question here in terms of the role that creative plays. Creative is an input that you will give. It is not an output that needs to be worked out in a campaign first situation. A large part of investments, and I can say with three brands sitting here, is moving towards video, right? It has already moved towards video because storytelling has to happen, category building has to happen, and story building because education on the product has to happen, and by obvious implicit intuitive choice, it has to come through TVCs, DVCs, or video as a format. Hence, on how we are able to create that specific communication targeted towards the campaign. We are not saying that a micro campaign set towards a gazillion line items need to be created, but measure your cohorts well, right? Make specific creatives as per the word. Most important part in all of this is, which is not marketing rich, but it is more implementation rich, is how you set up campaigns, right? Campaign setups more often than not go a little ORI, and ORI as in not ORRY, AWRY. So they go ORI, and you're not able to measure things correctly. So AI helps a lot, right? Campaign setups quickly, tagging helps pieces quickly, and the final part to this is measuring what goes beyond a click always helps, right? So whether video has given any brand search uplift, whether any queries have moved up, whether any traffic at any place has helped. So it's a summation of all of these things. Creative alone doesn't solve the fight, but it's the complete narrative on how you set up a full-fledged campaign.
I have a specific questions for the brand point of view, because we see the head of agency side of that. There are certain questions from the brand, how they will look at that. So what challenges have you encountered in ensuring that your video ad campaign deliver meaningful engagement while aligning with your target audience behavior? How do you manage expectations when measuring ROI across different channels?
All right, I'll take it up.
You want to go first? Yeah.
I don't mind. I was last the last time, and I won't be the last time. All right, so I think it's really important for a brand like Reckitt because it's built on storyline, right? You see Dettol or Harpic, it won't sell a bit if you don't relate to it because it was a category creation for itself. And penetration is a game of you finding a relatability to the product. And therefore, it's really important for us to find that specific user and make them one-on-one understand what our proposition is like. Therefore, video ads are the key to go ahead. That being said, I think we Reckitt started its journey from a TV first approach with spray painting as the game. Therefore, ROI did not play any big role because ultimately it was a sales game, but the investments are not attributed to what you usually have. Now, what we have seen the last decade, with the penetration of mobiles growing, internet growing, we have way more spends disproportionately growing in digital. Therefore, it's really even more important for us to find those people, easier for us to find those people and reach out to them. And therefore comes the role that I was hired for, which is measurement. I think it's important for us to now find what do we pay for and why do we pay for it, and should we consistently do. Therefore, I think it's really important to find the impression cost and the qualified impression cost. What we have said from our internal alignments is that not every impression is same. We do make some impression as a qualifying impression, therefore equating it with more qualified views is the game. There comes the KPI which were addressed in last time, video completion rates, cost per completed views, viewable impressions makes it at least on the input side, and when you have the output, you have sales lifts, you have studies on searches lifts, brand lift studies. These all play a big role, and then if we can correlate each of them to a solution, for me and for my counterparts from brand, it will always be purchase. We would see the revenue column always when we have an input column of costs, and irrespective of it, we would definitely want to go a little more niche, and maybe as my agency counterpart said, there would always be a set of line items which you will hate to create, but we would want you to create, because our mindset is to go to an impression which will come from a suitable impression to a one-on-one user. Therefore, the number of line items will increase, but we would try to equate it to the business side. And we are moving towards that. I think from the Reckitt perspective, we all have the industry learning that we have also been matured, improving in our ear to the ground. We are improving on what the quality impressions that we're delivering. Therefore, the understanding is growing, and it's still a space that we will improve on, and we definitely will work together in growing that space.
Thank you. Nitin, your view.
I think I'll start with the challenges, right? I think challenges are really clear. There's too much clutter right now, and especially in the digital space, right? Yeah. What is happening is that your user behavior is not linear because you can't control it. You've given that away to the user, right? I would go back to the traditional days, as Shubham said. If I was watching Antakshari or Chitrahar, I know that I'm watching a music program. I can be very well place any music product, speakers, anything related to that. Now, on my feed, whether it's YouTube, social, or any other platform, I may be watching, and it's literally impossible, right? I may be watching bhajan. Next, I think a sports video. Next, I skip to another one. Yeah. So that's not linear. While I may be flagged by the platforms, respective platforms, the right audience for that, right? So that clutter becomes the challenge, right? And measuring the performance against each clutter would be basically dependent on, how well the further filters can be put on. While I agree totally with Shubham, was like, because eventually what is happening is like the platforms are giving you the options of increasing, targeting, but they're not enabling, the agency partners or any other solutions that, okay, you can further diversify, or they're not automating that process for them. So there's too much of manual work which is going on currently, setting up the campaigns and stuff like that. But, there's no simpler or linear way that they have solved it for the brands. So what is happening is that there's too much of supply, but there is too much little amends on the platform that you can actually, it should evolve accordingly, right? So, which is not happening. And that's where we need players which can automate that process. Like, for example, I think Channel Factory is trying to do that as well, fair bit of that. And that's where we need additional layers which can help you that, okay, I have done this, you have 20 targetings, I need that automated, man. I can't actually, it's too tedious. Yeah. And eventually, mind you, let me remind everybody, we all went to digital to solve this problem.
Yes.
Of transparency,
yes.
Right targeting, and the measurement, yes. Right? And if we are failing at all three, that itself is a challenge.
Of course. We all gone through on this point, or any industry point of view, as the technology comes in, and supply is humongous right now across the world. So we all know the challenges of that. Karan, your view on the same point on the brand head.
Yeah, I think Shubham, Nitin, and everyone has covered most of the points. But I'll just, we are just looking at, or we are getting mostly the perspective of consumer marketing. What challenge I face in my domain is that I have difficult things to explain in a simpler way and through a video. Like, video is my main medium. I can't have a single banner telling what is on-prem and what is cloud solutions and et cetera, et cetera. So those are very difficult things to explain through a banner. And when that happens, the thing is, I overly rely on a single channel, which is LinkedIn, and trying to find these audiences. When I want to scale and I want to reach out to these people in a different mindset, might be ready for consuming video, let's say for example, YouTube. YouTube is just telling me that I have XYZ set of audiences who are in market, who are interested in a laptop, etc., but they're not telling me that these buyers are in market for 100 to 5,000 laptop fleet. They are not in market for buying my security software, right? Everyone is looking for a McAfee for their own computer.
Yeah.
They are not looking for their company. So context there becomes important, right? Because what they are watching gets aligned with what I want to serve them and make them understand, builds that clarity and brings those audiences on my side. Even lead gen campaign when we run on these channels get me pathetic leads because I'm getting mostly consumer leads through them. People are just asking about their own or our HP's consumer side of laptops, and they are not understanding what my ad was really about because the context is completely missing. They are just thinking, it is a lead form for a consumer laptop and not for a B2B marketing thing, right? And my sales cycle is 6 to 9 months. So
Yeah.
I have to nurture this audience again and again with multiple messagings about the same sort of solutions. So ROI measurement becomes difficult for us. We see a lot of marketing dollars getting wasted because these people are not getting what we are trying to tell them because they are not getting served in the right manner beyond a platform like LinkedIn only right now for me. So I think that is a huge challenge for us, and I hope when we try out your platform, it solves these things for us to an extent.
Definitely. The times is up. I can see that the 2 rings are already done. I have only one point in the last. Is that industry need to make, in order to improve the alignment between video advertising, audience engagement, and measurable ROI in coming years. So as we are growing in this digital space, you think the technology required to measure all these things of misalignment of content, or it is not needed? You can manage on a content basis. Anyone?
Yes, the answer is yes. As I said, right, the amount of content that is being thrown at you,
Yeah.
and all the UGC platform, and I can say all the digital platforms which has actually become big, right? You can see in India the OTTs have not really picked up in comparison to Metas and the YouTubes of the world, right? You do need technology to resolve it because eventually, if you're trying to basically be accurate and more contextually appropriate in terms of be a product, and especially in terms of companies like Reckitt, Samsung, and all those where we have the massive portfolio, you need to have that. I mean, you don't want to mix up Harpic with DIGIXX, right? So.
I don't want to upsell though.
Shivam, you want to add something on that?
Of course. I think it's, for me, I go to basics. I think as a few friends on the panel have said, all of us have now grown to have more than one interests. We used to have someone of us, our parents, would be a music enthusiast, but won't follow cricket. But now I follow cricket, I follow music. I do not follow maybe social media. I do not follow movies, but I do follow songs. So the interests have grown, and most of them are tappable. Therefore, it's important for us to reach to a consumer with the right communication, with the right space of mind, and to make them not volatile but portal. That's why it's important for us to have some technical and technological advances to make a solution easier for us. I think there is space without technology too, but that's very tedious. And I think we all are very lazy in our spaces. We want our things to be off us. Therefore, AIs may help us solutionize it easier. While that being said, I think it's really important for us to find a solution technologically to have us answer those questions which we cannot because of the 90% spends that we do on walled gardens. We do not have solutions to if the impressions were served rightly or not. and because the solutions are moving towards post-bid, we get to know it after we have delivered it. So when you have spent your money, I get to the analysis phase.
The postmortem is already done.
Then postmortem is already done. So I think it's important for us to be precautionary. Therefore, pre-bidding and solution like you guys would be important. While when I'm saying this thrice, I will evaluate you before I give you my money. I think there are some questions, but there is a solution, no doubt, and there is a need of the solution because ultimately we, just like the time is up, the time is up for everyone to put those LIs multiple times. The time is up for everyone to put those manual hours and make it more automated, and the solution should be contextual any time of the day.
I would also want to, which reminded me a very good point, basically is, like, you know, as long as the service publisher is providing you the advertising solution at the same time, it's like grading your own homework, right? Yeah. I am the content creator, I am Meta, and I am also giving the solution for the advertising. I'll never give you that targeting. So you need third-party independent people to verify that. Agreed. Like in traditional good old days, there was BARC that telling, okay, you can always play, already only play 30 seconds of ads, 21 minutes of programming in 30 minutes, right? Right? So there were certain guardrails. Who's stopping here? Like, you can just keep bombarding people and you can just control that. Like he said, post-bid, post-bid, all of that. They're slowly removing that. Yeah. When they were in the adaptation phase, they, every digital platform arrived here with the intent that we're going to solve this problem with the right targeting, right measurement, everything, right? Again. But if you see, increasingly they are removing those layers, which is basically, quintessentially asking for third parties to jump
Definitely,
in.
because as you know, the social platforms are majorly for the creator point of view, not for the advertiser point of view, brand point of view. That's why their major business is the creator, and creator can create anything. Even I am a traveler, I can be a food blogger or food podcaster on that content point of view and say that. So I think the time is up. Thank you all for your insights and your view of how the misalignments, and you are going in deeper as we go on. Thank you. Thanks everyone.